I'm so excited to release to you today, Create Your Spiritual Autobiography. It is the first book in a series of books coming out in the next days, weeks, and seasons in regards to capturing, cultivating, and curating a sense of well-being and beyond. Listen, I worked over 25 plus 30 years in the spaces of spiritual growth, formation, and possibility. And what I watched all too often was those places where we would abdicate. I would abdicate to the so-called expert. Now being a little bit older and realizing that even if that expert is one step ahead of you, the true heart of a teacher is to look at you and say, you are an amazement. What's in you? And bring that out. Spiritual practices, it can come with a whole myriad of preconceived ideas, right? Who hasn't been waylaid by the mental and heart burden of a quiet time and not doing it enough, not doing it right, getting it all wrong? These are things, even as a spiritual director, as a yoga therapist, that I hear people wonder about in their own spiritual growth and formation, in their own movement of their body and their breath. And I wanted to create a series of books that would address these very issues. Who needs a sense of well-being in today's world? I certainly do. Who wants to go beyond just existing and tolerating a life and live and create and heal and grow and transform? I do. Who needs a realistic path full of invitation and permission to reconcile yourself to the past, create powerful now moments, and carve out a future you would actually want to live? That was my heart and my intention in coming forward and creating this one book and all the books that are going to be in the series. Because I so hunger for people to stop abdicating the power of their own life to that expert. I want you to capture, lay a hold, cultivate, and curate a sense of well-being and wellness in your own spirituality, in your physical body. I want to create the spaces where practices aren't this heavy burden, but can hold space for curiosity, empowering ourselves to get to know ourselves, each other, the natural world, and God even more thoroughly, reconciling that past, building up the present, and leaping into the future. And so I just want to scroll through some pages to give you an idea of what Create Your Spiritual Autobiography is like. I want to tell you that some other titles are going to deal with silence and solitude, reading sacred text, and just walking a labyrinth, creating prayer beads. There are dozens upon dozens of incredible practices that can help us grow, heal, and transform our lives. And yet they've been put out to the public so often by the teacher, by the expert, as this is the specific way to do this. And stepping out of this method, you're getting it wrong. My invitation to you is create, cultivate, and capture your own spaces. And here are some pages within the book. Why Spiritual Autobiography? I share a little bit about my story and my hunger for freedom and authenticity. reflection, and integration. I share my answer, but ask you, what's yours? And then this question, who are you? I am a huge Grey's Anatomy fan. Anybody who knows me knows that about me. And in one incredible episode, the character Christina Yang asks these questions. And they have been reverberating within my being. Do you know who you are? Do you understand what has happened to you? Do you want to live this way? See, that's what I'm talking about. In using spiritual autobiography, it really does empower you to know yourself more thoroughly, reconcile you to the past, build up the present, and leap into the future, right? Getting started, write down the vision and run with it. Or like Mary Oliver says, tell me, what is it that you want to do with your one wild and precious life? So here's some I go from pictures and stories to some very practical, hands-on tools of befriending one's life, creating intention. And I'm just going to scroll down. So maybe you might want to even close your eyes as we scroll down. Look at all these pictures. See, you might be saying, oh, I'm not a writer. That gets to be really okay. Take photographs, find words, find quotes, whatever it is, discover, grow into awareness. What's your favorite books and music? And how have they filled up your life? What are meaningful sounds to you? The waves of nature, the birds of the air, right? Taking time to discover and rediscover favorite places. But here I'm going to scroll down. So just bear with me for a moment. Just want you to get a glimpse of creating collages or silly faces, being with the people you love, season after season, discovering what lens you want to use and how you see the world. What sense, what timelines do you want to reflect on, right? And it's all through the years of our life and living, learning how to integrate all those pieces. And here, we're almost there. See all of the incredible things that you're going to get in this book. But here become those very practical steps. In writing your autobiography, what are the big headings? What are those chapters? And here we talk about the practicals for you and what they'll be. What are your chapters? Where do you begin? The pages in between, right? The transitions. I've given birth to 6 live babies, and I'll tell you that time of transition, that in between one space and one season in our life, can be harrowing in moments, can be exciting as it develops, but can also hold with it loneliness and pain. And writing out some of those places or reflecting on the pages in between, the stories that make up the chapter, just help to bring those places of integration and reconciliation and transformation. Other spaces of timelines. But whoever said timelines were straight, right? You get to create your timelines. You get to think outside of the boxes and discover and explore out your own expression. See, timelines don't even have to be dates and places. They can be people throughout all the years. And looking at those pictures and remembering the places you were at and discovering new things about them and yourself. Collages. Sometimes I pick a color. I turn to the color blue and learned a thing or two, right? And here, what I did when I turned to the theme of blue and writing my spiritual autobiography was I went through decades of pictures and really just looked for the picture blue. In finding this and in doing this collage, it just opened up so many memories and spaces and experiences. And then as a writer, I did spend time integrating it for myself Maybe you do that, or maybe creating the collage was enough. And here, just more steps in regards to collage and timelines. And Mr. Basil, will you use a theme such as a season, emotion, hands, believe it or not, or eyes, like I did the color? What's going to inspire you? What themes and metaphors, literal and metaphoric, come to you? And what are the steps? My heart for spiritual practices is this: play and have fun, explore and discover, remember and return, long and live. Stop just existing and sleepwalking through life and tolerating, but really grasp a hold of how are you going to spend your time. This was actually in Rockport, Massachusetts. It was the first time I ever kayaked on the ocean, and I was laughing in ways that I didn't even know I could laugh. And so, again, that Mary Oliver quote, tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Will writing your spiritual autobiography answer that question thoroughly? No, but it might create the very diving board that has you leaping and stepping into healing and growth and new adventure. I conclude with some poems that I love, inviting you to start here and create your own spiritual autobiography, ending with Mary Oliver's poem, The Summer Day. Listen, this is just the beginning. I got exhausted of experts and gurus telling you that it's this 6 phases or these 10 steps to do X, Y, Z. I want you to spend time with yourself. That is what Mongalisa's Listening Academy is all about. Learning how to listen to yourself, to others, to the natural world, and to God, however you define the divine or source or the universe. It's learning how to be able to sit with yourself and your story, heal and reconcile the past, dream and cultivate in a future that you would want to live, and live in this now here moment in the best version of yourself. So that is writing your spiritual autobiography. I can't wait to release to you the books on solitude and silence. Who could imagine that such practices could actually be filled with depths of joy and creativity? But that is what Elle Miller and Mongaliso are all about, creating wonderment and amazement and celebrating you and holding up spaces so that we can all thrive. Can't wait to offer more to you. Check out my website, ldmiller.com. Hop on Mongaliso Listening Academy and take care of yourself.